Tonight on News 22.
Young Park Pond and the muddy work to clean it up.
We talk to the new sheriff of Doña Ana County and the challenges she's facing.
And Amanda Adame gives us an inside look on how New Mexico farmers are handling drought. All that and more on News 22 Tuesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Javier Gutierrez.
And I'm Victoria Valderrama. A new building is in the works for Columbia Elementary School.
During a recent meeting, the school board made what it called a difficult but necessary decision. News 22 Alyssa Tejas is here to explain the options and parents' concerns.
Columbia Elementary students were forced out of the school after mold and water damage was found in early September. The district had three options: remodel, demolish and rebuild on the same site, or demolish and build a new school in a different area. The school finally decided to demolish the school and rebuild it in a slightly different location.
Dirt and dust has now gathered outside Columbia Elementary. An empty parking lot, empty classrooms, and empty playgrounds. No learning in sight. After mold was found, students had to pack up their things and move to Centennial High School. They have been there for several months now, and for some parents, it's somewhat of an inconvenience.
It gets old after a while.
We come out of a way about a 25-minute drive.
But Centennial has made some modifications to make the elementary students feel more at home.
The teachers here, the facilities, they got it covered.
With an estimated cost of $35 million, Las Cruces Public Schools asks for family support in what they believe is the best option for students.
Superintendent Deputy Gabe Hawkes says the school district put a lot of thought into their decision.
We settled kind of in between option 2 and 3 because we're going to rebuild a new Columbia, but our goal is to keep it in the same area.
This is the new school. It will move slightly from the gray area to the yellow area. There will be ponding, outdoor fields, and new parking. Some say they would like to keep the building.
Pretty harsh, kids go there all the time. There's a lot of memories there.
While others like the idea of a new school.
First thing, I think that's a good idea for the only reason of health issue. And second, I sure like to get back to our area.
And look forward to the learning ahead.
LCPS provides bus transportation to Columbia families. The school district says the school will be done in approximately 2 years.
Well, it was a really nice day, and now there's clear skies outside.
Very nice, pleasant day. Hopefully they continue. We're going to send it over to Amanda with our first look at weather.
Thanks, Javi. The weather in Arizona had some huge snowfall this past week, and it's still very easy to see from space. This video from NASA shows the snow cover over much of northern Arizona. Flagstaff had the most ever recorded. Many places there were buried under 3 feet of snow. Well, they've been seeing lots of snow. We've been seeing lots of sun. Sunny right now outside our door, 73 as our current conditions. Some wind coming in from the west-southwest. Our humidity at 11%, 16 for our dew point, and our barometer sits at 30.10 inches. Today's high was 74 degrees, well above our average of 66. Tonight's low is 41. Taking a look back in time in 1986, a record high of 89 and a record low of 33 in 1977. Today we saw no rain, so our yearly rainfall sits at 0.06 inches. I'll be back later to talk your national forecast, but for now, more news.
A bill to make New Mexico a leader in renewable energy is working its way through the legislative process. The bill aims to make the state's electricity generation carbon-free by the year 2045. The Public Service Company of New Mexico supports the bill and plans to shut down the coal-fired San Juan station near Farmington in 2022. Some say the bill would kill jobs and harm the communities. The bill is working its way through committees.
Marijuana mayhem has come to New Mexico. A bill to legalize recreational cannabis is headed to the House of Representatives. The bill would require the age limit for buying marijuana to be 21 and over. It would also impose a tax and erase some criminal records for marijuana-related cases. It would also not allow weed in the workplace, and private individuals will not be allowed to grow their own. Supporters say it would eliminate the black market demand. The bill is working through its the legislative process. Newly elected Doña Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart has started this new year with some challenges.
Andrea Vasquez brings us closer to understanding the hardships of law enforcement.
Doña Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart took office facing all the usual challenges of a new job. But soon, she was also faced with a tragedy. Well-liked and respected Deputy John Duffy died by suicide in January. Statistics show law enforcement officers have a higher rate of suicide than the general population.
We face not only pressures when we go out to the community and have to really confront difficult things, but then we come into the department, and if that department is not supportive of them, or they do not perceive it as being a support system, then they have the stress of believing no one cares.
According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, New Mexico ranks number 4 in the country in suicide rates, and suicide is the 9th leading cause of death in New Mexico.
It is so important to have resources.
Dr. Rao, an expert in mental health, heard about Deputy Duffy's story.
When an officer ends his life to suicide, is to make sure that we give the message that it is not a sign of weakness, but in fact it is a sign of strength, that we recognize that we are vulnerable.
Sheriff Stewart says she's been lucky enough to have met Deputy Duffy during her swearing-in ceremony.
I remember him very clearly because he had a very unique look. He really got into the role that he had to play to be successful.
And as the department recovers, the sheriff wants to let them know that they all must connect with each other.
Don't be afraid to reach out to those who have done this job for a lot of years and had these experiences, and tell them that you're afraid or you're sad or you're, it's when you don't that I think we end up with carrying a burden that is some people find too much.
For News 22, I'm Andrea Vasquez.
How is the city of Las Cruces doing? Well, we'll find out on Thursday when Mayor Ken Miyagashima delivers his annual State of the City address. It'll be at noon in the City Council chambers. It will also be live streamed at clctv.com and Facebook at City Las Cruces and televised on Comcast Cable Channel 20. The public is welcome to attend.
The restoration project at Young Park is still underway, and deep, sticky mud is slowing the process. A bulldozer is removing the bottom layer of the pond. Work crews had to let the mud dry so they could remove it. They're also installing a new pond filtration system and repairing the bridge that spans part of the pond. All the wildlife that inhabited the park has been removed. City officials have said the project should be complete by late March. The U.S. Energy Department is investigating if workers were exposed to toxic nuclear chemicals in Carlsbad, New Mexico. The possible exposure happened late last year at the Waste Isolation Power Plant. The DOE is looking into the circumstances surrounding the incident. Possible fines and penalties could come of this investigation. Officials at the power plant are cooperating with federal investigators.
The U.S. House of Representatives says no to the president's national emergency to build a border wall. The democratically controlled House voted this afternoon to revoke President Trump's national emergency. Democrats were joined by 13 Republicans. The national emergency would fund President Trump's proposed border wall. The president had already accepted $1.3 billion before he declared the emergency. The resolution now moves to the Senate, which must vote within about 2 weeks. New Mexico Representative Ben Ray Lujan will be honored by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting at the Public Media Summit in Washington, D.C. tonight. Lujan will receive the Strengthening Civil Society Thought Leader Award. The award is for leaders who uphold the mission of public media to inform and educate. And stay tuned, Mandy will be back with your national forecast.
And later, a hard drought is coming this summer to some areas of New Mexico. How some are preparing for it is next on News 22 Tuesday.
Whether you're building tables, cabinets, or chairs, American Woodshop is here to guide you the entire way. Hi, I'm Norma Bichot, Program Manager for KRWG. Join host Scott Phillips as he shares new techniques and tips in the construction of projects you can do at home. Tune in Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. for American Woodshop as they build their way into your new home. For more programming information, visit KRWG.org.
That frosting looks nice to work with.
Yeah, this is my zen. You know, some people have yoga. I frost cakes.
Join Julia, Bridget, and the rest of the Cook's Country Gang for another mouth-watering season full of regional American home cooking.
You nailed it. No pressure.
It's a great new year of testings, tastings, and recipes from Cook's Country.
Looks like you have room for...
You know me. You really know me.
Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. A proposed Pistol Pete statue is becoming a hot debate on the NMSU campus.
The New Mexico Department of Transportation wants to build a roundabout at the intersection of University and Travis. And in the center of it, they want a statue of NMSU's Pistol Pete sitting on top of his horse. But some university faculty members do not want to see it built. They feel Pistol Pete represents a colonial, hyper-masculine, violent symbol, whose display at a campus entrance would be traumatic to many members of the NMSU community. The proposal will come before the Faculty Senate on March 7th. A popular children's book is in the inspiration for the planting of 12 trees on the New Mexico State's campus. The popular children's picture book, The Giving Tree, inspired the purchase of 12 cedars of Lebanon trees to be placed around NMSU. These 12 trees will be named after storytellers from the area. Right now, there are no qualifications that decides who gets named and is asking the public for input.
Las Cruces Police hope to help you from your car, hope to help you to keep your car from being stolen. The department will have an auto crime and prevention safety event this Saturday. They'll be having free window etching. That means they'll etch your vehicle identification number on every window. It's supposed to help from keeping your car from being stolen. The event is from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Walmart on Walton.
Ask anyone who has ever tried to break a bad habit and they'll tell you it's easier said than done.
But in today's Health Minute, Reed Binion explains why that doesn't have to be the case.
Whether it's giving up smoking or junk food, there's at least one bad habit that most people would love to break, or at least have made countless attempts to break. Because habits can influence our behavior, they can be leveraged for positive change, but they can also hold back progress. A great rule of thumb, however, is to replace a bad habit with a better one. And one is often the inverse of the other, which can work in your favor, like eating clean is eating less junk and working out is being less sedentary. If you're wondering how long it takes to convert a bad habit into a good one, according to researchers from University College of London, on average, it takes a little over 2 months, and in some cases, even longer. So hang in there, and if you're worried about falling off the wagon, be mindful of what triggers those bad habits. You don't want to sabotage all your hard work. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
There's hardly been any rain or snow across the Southwest.
Yes, there hasn't been. We're going to send it over to Amanda, who has a little bit more with the story.
Thanks, Javi. That's right. New Mexico continues to suffer through intense drought, and it's forcing farmers to spend thousands for water. So many farmers are hoping this winter snow up north will bring some relief. As reported last fall, the drought situation in New Mexico was bleak.
We don't have the water coming in from Colorado, the snowpack where it starts.
The future was uncertain, depending on the winter snowpack that would melt and fill the state's parched reservoirs. As the winter comes to an end, researchers can see a bit more clearly. According to drought.gov, after this winter, 17.8% of the state is facing severe drought conditions, a bit less than this time last year. The director of the New Mexico Water Resources Research Institute, Dr. Sam Fernald, says this snowmelt has made an impact, but not big enough.
Snowpack runoff is less for a given amount of snowpack, so we need even, to get average runoff, we even need more and more snowpack. So that idea of heat drought, I think you're going to hear more and more about that.
Heat drought, the new enemy for much of New Mexico. Heat drought. It's when the area is getting its average needed precipitation, but because of the high temperatures, it's not making it to the rivers then reservoirs because it evaporates so quickly. The Water Resources Research Institute has a water budget plan. It includes using technology to slow evaporation to ensure water does get to those reservoirs.
Generally, I think we need to invest more in managing our water and researching what needs to be done to manage it better.
He says farmers should be required to have this technology and says the state should help them buy it. But until that happens, farmers will continue to face extreme drought and high water costs. Well, we've been facing those drought-like conditions, but much of the country definitely hasn't been. Here in the southeast, they're getting a lot of rain this upcoming Wednesday. Tomorrow is bringing in a moist air system into New Orleans, Atlanta, and Orlando. As you'll see in my next map for an outlook of the rest of the week, overall, the rain I was talking about will make its way up east into Friday, and the southwest where we are, we'll be seeing warm and dry conditions. In my final map, we're going to see just how warm the southwest is going to stay. 75 in El Paso, 77 in San Antonio, 81 in Brownsville. But New York, you're still seeing those colder conditions, as is Buffalo, 23 degrees. So it's still winter for you all there. I'll talk your New Mexico conditions when we come back after this.
Fresh Air with Terry Gross, weekday mornings at 11 on 90.7 FM and streaming live on KRWG.org.
If you love cookies, you'll want to watch every episode of Season 9 of Martha Bakes. We're bringing you cookies from all over the world. There's so much to learn. Get your cookie jars ready because we're going to fill them up to the brim on an all-new season of Martha Bakes.
Saturday at 4 p.m.
Hi, I'm Jerry Arnell, host of my fine art painting show, Paint This with Jerry Arnell. Join me here where I'll be showing you my latest instructional paintings. And you can follow along learning all about numerous fine art techniques. I promise we're going to have a great time. In the meantime, God bless you, stay inspired, and keep painting.
Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at New Mexico now. In Farmington, 53 degrees for you, currently 62 in Albuquerque, 66 in Socorro, 71 in Clovis, 75 here in Las Cruces, and 71 in Deming. Taking a look at tomorrow's temperatures, 61 in Albuquerque, 70 degrees in Clovis, 59 in Ruidoso, 74 in Las Cruces, and 70 degrees in Deming. In TRC, you're going to be looking at 45 for your low with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, 72 for your high. Silver City tonight, 37 with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, 62 for your high. And here in Las Cruces, 45 degrees for our low tonight. Some partly cloudy skies tomorrow, but mostly sun at 74. That's all I have for your current conditions. I'll be back later to talk your 5-day forecast. But for now, more news.
A car crash in San Antonio, Texas on Monday has taken the life of a 1-year-old child.
Here is Stephanie Mendez with today's Southwest Minute.
25-year-old David Fuentes hit a woman and her baby in the parking lot of a Dollar General store. He also struck another woman who was thrown several feet. She's in critical condition. The mother's condition is unknown. Fuentes is charged with drunken driving. The passenger was taken in for questioning. A man who opened fire at a birthday party in Guadalupe, Arizona is under arrest. Police say 20-year-old Philip Valencia opened fire at a birthday party across from his grandmother's house. 2 people were shot, one is dead, and the other is in stable condition. Valencia confessed and is charged with first-degree premeditated murder and assault. He's being held on a $1 million cash bond. A couple in California is bringing back an old classic, a VW bus with a bit of history. The artist who painted the original light bus from the Woodstock Festival led a team to restore the replica. The bus is set to make an appearance at Woodstock's 50th anniversary later this year. I'm Stephanie Mendez with the Southwest Minute.
And the NMSU baseball team is coming off a pretty successful weekend this week.
That's right, and Adan Contreras will tell us more on that next with sports.
Thanks, Javier and Vicky. Coming up in sports, see how the New Mexico State softball team fared against their tough competition in California. Don't go anywhere because News 22 Sports is next.
For over 30 years, Nancy Zeman brought you sewing expertise and inspiration.
Speedy Sewing Projects, well, search no farther.
Continuing the long tradition of sharing her love of sewing.
My goal is to teach in this classroom
the best of Sewing with Nancy.
Sewing gave me confidence.
Learn techniques and tap into your own creativity.
And now the fun starts.
Join us for the best of Sewing with Nancy.
Wednesday at 2:30 p.m.
You fill up my
One of the most popular singers in America, John Denver. Explore the man behind the music.
What Frank Sinatra was to the 40s, Elvis Presley was to the 50s, and the Beatles were to the 60s, John Denver was to the 70s.
John Denver, Country Boy. Monday at 7 p.m.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Adan Contreras, and let's talk sports. The New Mexico State basketball team clinched the #1 seed in the WAC tournament. The Aggies defeated UTRGV on Saturday for their 13th straight win by a final score of 88-79. With the win, the Aggies claim at least a share of the WAC regular season title. The game got a little chippy towards the end of the contest, but New Mexico State kept their composure to finish out the game strong. The night was special for one player in particular, as Eli Chua became the 35th Aggie to record 1,000 points in their career. Head coach Chris Jans is proud of his team for securing the #1 seed, but knows there's still more work to be done.
Feels good to get that out of the way, and now we've set ourselves up for a road opportunity at Thursday to clinch an outright championship, and that's what we're going to talk about leading up to that game. And I've loved how it's played out to give us these opportunities to put them in these positions to have something to play for.
During halftime of the basketball game, the 2019 Aggies Hall of Fame class was honored. The inductees included volleyball player Crystal Torres, basketball player Reggie Jordan, golfer Steve Haskins, swimming coach Jack Welch, and was headlined by current Green Bay Packers defensive back Devon House. The 5 members were officially inducted into the U.S. Bank New Mexico State Athletics Hall of Fame on Wednesday by the New Mexico State Athletics Department. The New Mexico State women's basketball team also secured their place as the #1 overall seed in the WAC tournament. The women defeated UTRGV on Saturday by a final score of 70-67. Brooke Salas had a team-high 20 points and 7 rebounds on the night. The Aggies play the University of Missouri-Kansas City on Thursday, and with a win, will earn the outright WAC regular season title. The New Mexico State baseball team won their weekend series against the Yale Bulldogs. The Aggies dominated the first game on Friday, winning 19-6. They split the doubleheader on Saturday, winning the first game 14-6, and lost the second game 2-4. The final game of the series went to the Aggies by a final score of 13-6. The Aggies played Texas Tech earlier in the day today, losing 7-0. Catch the full game recap tomorrow on News 22. The New Mexico State softball team finished 2-3 at the Mariner Classic this weekend. The Aggies opened up the tournament with a tough loss to the 17th-ranked Oregon Ducks. They followed that game with a couple solid wins against North Carolina and California. The Aggies finished the tournament with a pair of losses to Missouri and Ohio State. The Aggies get over a week off before they are back in action next Tuesday when they welcome Arizona into town for a doubleheader. And it's district tournament time for high school basketball. The Class 5A District 3 tournament got underway yesterday. On the boys' side, Mayfield defeated Centennial, Deming defeated Carlsbad, and Oñate defeated Alamogordo. Looking at the women, Oñate defeated Deming, Alamogordo defeated Gadsden, and Las Cruces defeated Centennial. The district tournament continues tomorrow night. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Amanda will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, the Big Easy will be going up on a Tuesday. How New Orleans is preparing for Mardi Gras. That's ahead on News 22 Tuesday.
It's the journey of a lifetime on the award-winning Born to Explore. Celebrate the people, the places, the planet we all share. Join me, Richard Weiss, for a window to the world.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Movable Feast moves into a brand new season.
It's local halibut.
We made our version of porchetta. I'm Pete Evans, traveling coast to coast.
I'm Michelle Bernstein, dishing it up in the Dairylands of Wisconsin.
We're throwing a party.
And you're invited.
Movable Feast with Fine Cooking Magazine.
Sunday at 4 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Dela en iakttagelse i samband med de 4 morden.
En varning. Om din dotter nu har sett honom så kan han naturligtvis ha sett henne.
Jag har en hemlighet.
Sunday at 5 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Let's take a look at our top stories. Columbia Elementary School is getting a new school. The option was made after careful consideration by the district. New Mexico is preparing for the drought season. According to experts, 17% of the state is expected to be affected by extreme drought. And the NMSU baseball team is on a roll after defeating Yale this past weekend.
Mardi Gras is in full swing, and the best place for a dog to be is in the Mystic Crew of Barkus. Founded in 1993, the Crew of Barkus is the only crew in the celebration with dogs. A crew is a group or organization that holds a Mardi Gras parade and the events. Mardi Gras is a celebration before Ash Wednesday, which people feast and enjoy their time before their strictness of Lent. Barkus crew of Thomas Wood and his dog Jojo, who was made queen of her parade and was captain for life. The crew's theme this year is Welcome to the Flea Market. Interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. So Mandy, tell us about the next 5 days.
So the next 5 days are definitely going to be looking like spring. Actually, on Friday, we're going to be seeing a record high of 78. So get rid of those jackets. It's spring, guys.
Great news. Yeah, I'm ready for spring break. And don't forget, you can catch all of today's aired stories and past newscasts on our YouTube page at youtube.com/KRWG News 22.
And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for show updates and what the latest on what the News 22 team is up to. And follow us on Twitter and Facebook for breaking news alerts and show teases.
And that's all for News 22 Tuesday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
I'm Javier Gutierrez.
I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Amanda Lame. Have a good night.
Good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Hola y bienvenidos a este breve informativo de Noticias 22. Con ustedes, Diana Castillo. La policía de Las Cruces sigue investigando un accidente de ayer involucrando a un ciclista de 65 años. Poco después de las 5 de la tarde ocurrió un choque entre una camioneta y una bicicleta en la intersección de la avenida Amador y Motel Boulevard. La policía nos dice que la camioneta, conducida por un hombre de 48 años, viajaba hacia el oeste y el ciclista hacia el este por Amador. El ciclista fue transportado al Centro Médico Regional Mountain View y luego trasladado en avión a un hospital en El Paso. Se supo por última vez que estaba en condición crítica, pero estable. El lunes por la mañana, 6 empleados de limpieza tuvieron que evacuar una planta local por gases tóxicos. La planta procesa nueces. El equipo posiblemente había mezclado productos químicos de limpieza que causaron los gases. Los bomberos determinaron que 2 lavadoras de presión de gas utilizadas por el equipo causó una acumulación de monóxido de carbono. El equipo de hazmat limpió el aire dentro de la planta y extrajo las 2 lavadoras. 4 de los 6 empleados requirieron tratamiento médico. Sus condiciones no se consideran peligrosas para su vida. Gracias por acompañarnos, Diana Castillo.
This is KRWG Public Media, Las Cruces, serving the entire region thanks to your support. Become a member anytime at krwg.org.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by the Las Cruces Sun News, providing local, regional, national, and world news information, including daily events in the southern New Mexico area. The Las Cruces Sun News is also available online.